Alright, I want to show our 1992 Kawasaki KZ1000P police bike that has been our RM stator voltage regulator testing bike. So it's in decent shape for an old police bike. Had done a ton of work to it. It was bought non-running, been sitting for quite a while. It was retired with 30-some thousand miles on it from police service. I bought it from a private owner that put some miles on it. We've put quite a few, so now it has 38,601 on it. And yeah, it's been modified quite a bit. So it's the original KZ1000 motor. Runs well. Motor's been completely resealed, new base gasket and head gasket due to leaks, and carburetors rebuilt, and new intake boots and rubber and cables, ignition, all that stuff. Has new shocks, chains, sprockets, forks rebuilt, new tires, pretty much everything to make it good and rideable again. And it runs well and looks cool. Cut down the windscreen. The old windscreen was too scratched up, you couldn't even see through it, so it's cut off low. LED lights everywhere. It's running an RM stator, and the whole point of this bike was to be able to easily test voltage regulators on it. So the original wiring was not in great shape from police use. It had been modified and was kind of chopped up. So this has been set up with a regulator, kind of quick change regulator mount under the seat, so we could test regulators on it on a plate here, with our common connectors for the regulator, so we can swap it out to use it to test parts. And it's completely rewired. The wiring was not in great shape, and so the whole thing has been rewired using an M unit, Moto Gadget M unit Blue, the Bluetooth model, so it's controllable from a phone app, which is kind of cool. And it's all hidden under the side cover here. So yeah, there's really just about none of the original wiring left on the bike. It's all run off the M unit. Yeah, and yeah, all the stuff's under the seat here. Has the original police bags that are in good shape, good storage, and yeah, new shocks, all that stuff. Had some gauges and stuff added, so used to use this voltmeter, but it wasn't very accurate, so it's disconnected. But have a temp gauge there, volt and amp meter on the dash here, because it's mainly used for charging system testing. All the switches really are disconnected other than starter. Siren light turns on the pursuit lights. I think they were up front, which are now just amber colored. LED headlight, LED turn signals, all programmable from the M unit. So heated grips, controllers over here, and let's see, none of the siren stuff is working. Horn is down below. USB charger up there. We have a lot of the wiring up here for terminal connectors, so we can easily add accessories and stuff. So it's all, this bike wasn't done to be pretty. It was a really functional kind of test machine. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it up for sale here, because it runs great, but we use it a lot, and we run it fairly high RPM and all when we're testing charging systems with it. And I'll be very honest, it has a very, very loose cam chain. So I'll start it up, you can hear it, and then I'll tell you a little more about it. And I had the top end apart to reseal it. I had the cylinder off as well for a new base gasket that was leaking. And the cam chain is original. I didn't want to replace it, it's just too much work. And I don't think it's in any danger of failing, but it is just loose. I have a manual cam chain tensioner, CNC one, that I added here, and I've taken up the slack on it. All the valves were set 1,000 miles ago or so when I had it apart, and so the valve clearances are good. but the chain just has some loose spots in it that you just really can't adjust out. And the bike starts and runs great, but you'll hear the cam chain noise at low RPM when it's loose. As soon as you rev it up and it's tightened a little bit, most of that goes away. But I like to point it out, there's nothing to hide here. This bike has a lot of miles left in it, but I think it is going to need a cam chain at some point, and I think we're going to move on to something a little newer that is not a 4-cylinder motor to test regulators on. So it's been excellent. It will burn a little bit of oil sometimes, not often and not a worrying amount, but it'll blow a little bit of smoke every now and then. But new cables, new clutch springs, all sorts of stuff. So it's a good bike, and has a lot of miles of riding left in it, but I think we're about done with it. So yeah, hope you like it.